Hello and welcome to this episode of I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, where today I'm going to talk about my love of video games.
So the big question is this: how are parents like us, who don't have a manual, who are doing the best we can, who feel as though we aren't enough, how are we going to raise healthy, happy children who we are proud of and still keep our sanity in that process? That's the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Ryan Roy, and welcome to I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, a podcast for parents who are being real with themselves.
Welcome back to this episode of I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, where today I'm going to talk about my love of video games and why I believe that your kids should be spending more time with them. Now, I really don't love video games. As a matter of fact, I am one of those guys who didn't really play many video games growing up. I had a Nintendo system. I actually traded my Nintendo system to a friend of mine that would get more use out of it I think I traded it for a bicycle. Because I was more outdoorsy and I didn't spend a lot of time in front of screens, even though I had the opportunity to do so. And there's various reasons of why I probably was that way, and we won't get into that. So now that video games are a part of my 7-year-old's life and all of his friends, it's hard for me to connect in that way. See, not only do I not love them, I'm starting to strongly dislike them. As a matter of fact, last night, another parent that goes to my son's school on their Facebook page mentioned something about how there are challenges out there or on video games where they play interactively, where there's something out there that tells the kids to connect with other people online, and they have these challenges, and at the end of the day, if you're not doing them, I think it's called Momo, if that makes sense, it actually encouraged the kids to hurt themselves, and if they don't do these things, they're like dock points or something. It's so crazy and asinine, it drives me crazy. My son has been becoming consumed with these video games, and he and I had a long, maybe not a long, but a heart-to-heart about how I'm being a horrible father. It has nothing to do with him and his like for video games. This is not a punishment. But if I know that video games don't serve him, if I know that video games click on many emotional levels for adults and are an addictive thing, if I allow him to play them for more than an extended period of time, or to a point where his focus is somewhere that I don't want it to be or where it needs to be, if his sole focus is when he gets to play the next game or what the next game is that he can play or purchase, or hey, I have this video game system, Dad, I want to start a business. Literally wanted to start a business, and it was in a previous podcast where I talked about, would you buy weapons for your children? My son wanted to build a business so that he could buy video games. If everything you're doing is geared towards video game, when I wanted to have dialogue with him at night, he would talk about his video games and what he's doing on them. If you're that consumed, I am being a bad father for allowing you to have these things at this level where it's consuming you. And at this point, he and I had a discussion that video games are being shelved for right now so that we can reconnect. And when I say we, that means the family, and less conversation is around the video games or any conversation. As a matter of fact, I told him, and this may sound harsh, but this is how I talk to him. If the word video game comes up before you get them back, if you get them back, you're probably not going to get them back, because the whole purpose is there's too much focus on these damn video games. See, I don't know jack about parenting, but I know that when my son is so disconnected from wanting to go to school, from wanting to do his homework, from wanting to even spend time with me outside of the house because he'd rather be playing video games, I'm going to say it, that's a fucking problem. And in order to solve that problem, I don't have to wean a 7-year-old off of anything. I go cold turkey, and he could suffer the ramifications of that. Because the way this entire podcast started was him having anxiety. And the way he and I had a discussion around this the other day was he had been playing some games that week. He had a week off of school. I was working. I kept him home. I allowed him limited access. But guess what? He still got a lot more than he normally did. And when I sat with him to do some of the work he needed to get done for school, he has a project, he started getting some anxiety. He started breathing. He's like, my chest hurts, Dad. And I'm thinking, the only time your chest hurts or the only time you're having these challenges is when there's an overconsumption of these damn video games. Now, I didn't say it at that tone to him, but I did have some tonality around it, and that was it, right? Like, why is it that these video games consume you so much that you start getting anxiety? I need you to do the work. See, I allow you to play. When it's time to work, I need you to work. And I'm not saying he's lying. He's 7. I don't think there's that inside of him. I think there's, wow, I'd rather be playing video games, and this is a stressor of mine. This is not fun like a video game is. And anything outside of fun is bringing me more stress. So I don't want to do it. And then my dad has an expectation that I do these things, and like, I don't have any expectation. As a matter of fact, I wish there were better ways to learn than to do these projects and things. I wish there was more fun that they had at school, but unfortunately, it's life isn't that way. Like, life isn't gonna be a big old ball of wax, ball of yarn, whatever the expression is, where you're always having fun. Sometimes you just gotta man up and do the work. And he needed to do the work. As soon as we had a discussion, and I told him, listen, the video games are done, because I don't need my son having this kind of pain. That pain for me does not outweigh the pleasure the video games come. They bring absolutely almost no value. I'll say the value they do bring, and this is why I've justified him allowing to do this. In video games these days, there's a lot of strategy. I think in life, there's a lot of strategy. He is still a beginning reader, right? He's in the 2nd grade. Therefore, he's not reading right now for comprehension, but just learning to read. And I think the video games, because there's a lot of words and things, he's actually reading for comprehension beyond his grade level because of the video games. That was an added benefit. But right now, the benefits do not outweigh the consequences. And that's why these games are getting the axe right now. Now, I don't know jack about parenting. And I'm trying to navigate and figure this thing out as I go. But these video games, parents, moms, dads, they create a disconnect from the family. And I honestly thought, like, hey, we would keep it under control. But as attention-oriented as I am towards my kids, it got easy in this season of life where there's just a lot of moving parts. And I know all of you parents have a lot of moving parts. And it just became easier for me to say, you know what? I have to go make this call. I need to get in this meeting. I need to cook dinner. You know what? Hey, that'll keep you busy. Go play some video games. and I'm not having it anymore. That is me being a lazy ass parent. And I am not designed to be a lazy ass parent. I'm not designed to be lazy, period. And I'm definitely not in the most important job that I have on this planet. I'm not going to get lazy. And I can't wait until he's 9, 10, 11, 12 to make this adjustment. I got to make it now. And honestly, a big part of me wants to just get rid of the video game system. I really want to just sell it. I don't even want to sell it to another parent at a discount. Now, if I sell it to an adult that wants that gaming system, I'm okay with that. They make their own stupid decisions. But I really don't want to sell it to another parent that same system could hinder another child. Because at this point, and I'm just doing the math in my head real simply, there's well over $1,200 of product, of games and stuff that is sitting in our house. And that's just way too much waste of money, time, energy, effort. In the next episode, I'm going to be sharing how over the last couple days, my sons and I have reconnected in the absence of these video games. As a matter of fact, it may not be the next episode, but it may be a series of 5 days of our reconnection. We'll see you in the next episode.
Do you want to be the dad you wish you had? If so, go get my free book, Be the Dad You Wish You Had, at BeTheDadYouWishYouHad.com. Inside, you'll find my most effective 40 tips to quickly and easily transform yourself into the ideal dad. Go to BeTheDadYouWishYouHad.com now and get it while it's free.